Hey everybody, it's Addison. So today's video is going to be more in the style of a vlog about everyone's favorite tool, everyone's favorite makeup tool, the Beauty Blender. So I decided to make this video in honor of one of my friends named Caitlin, and you'll have to excuse me. I have a written script just because there's so much information in this video that I didn't really want to have to just remember in my head. So I have a written script, and I'm going to try my best to not make it sound like I have a written script. So anyway, I decided to make this video in honor of one of my friends named Caitlin. I used to go to high school with her, and she is a mom with a very, very busy schedule. And sometimes as a mother, it's hard to take a minute to just stop and take care of yourself for a little bit, and at least for a change. So a lot of people who are busy like Caitlin might not know where to go for like the latest beauty trends or all of the info on their favorite beauty products, or they may not know how to apply certain types of makeup or anything like that. So she's a really, really busy mom, and so she kind of inspired me to make this video because she understands that putting yourself first sometimes is a good thing, especially whenever you spend so much of your time and yourself just giving to other people. It's always good to try and take care of yourself, and so that's why she likes makeup so much, because it's a good way to pamper herself and make her feel important and make her feel empowered and make her feel pretty. So she was the one that inspired me to do this video. So in this case, she came to me asking for a bunch of tips on a bunch of different makeup applications for like contour and highlight, and then we got onto the subject about beauty blenders, and so it ended up in a conversation about tips on how to properly use a beauty blender and why she wasn't really satisfied with her beauty blender that she has. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about all of that. And this video is for all of you ladies and gentlemen, even gentlemen who do awesome makeup. All of you out there who aren't really aware of what your beauty blender is capable of, I'm here to kind of shed some light on all of that. And it's also for people who aren't really sure where to find the answers that they're looking for. So let's get started. I'm just going to kind of let you know what the Beauty Blender is and what types there are and how to take care of them and how to use them properly. So my first point is I'm going to go over the different kinds of Beauty Blenders. Now most of this video, all of the advice that I'm giving you in this video is based off of my personal experience. Number one, just situations that have come up that I've learned from, or ways that I've figured out how to use my Beauty Blender to my advantage in more ways than one. And this information is also based on a bunch of research that I did, a bunch of different videos, and a bunch of different articles that I came across while researching this product. So, point number one is all of the different kinds of beauty blenders. So, I'm sure you're all aware of the three basic kinds, which is the pink, the white, and the black one. I'm going to get started with the white one actually, because this one is a little bit more interesting, and it's one that people don't really know what the use is for. But what this is used for is for mainly skincare, or it's used for putting on primer before an application. I have my unused beauty blenders and my dirty beauty blenders, so I'm trying to keep them like separate. But the white one is, I like to use it for putting on primer before makeup, or you can also use it for your skincare, which is another point that I'll get to later along in the video. And the black one is the Beauty Blender brand. They say that the black one is more of a professional type. Excuse me, I'm stuttering all over the place. It's more of a professional type of beauty blender. It's more for, I use it for my grease paints and my face paints for like theatrical makeup or Halloween or something like that, or like heavy duty foundations for if you're going to be under theater lights for a very long time or something like that. And the last basic beauty blender is the pink one, which what I'm told and what I've read is that it's just mainly for basic makeup application or anything having to do with makeup, like blending your contour, which is something you can use it for, or just applying your foundation or even applying your concealer. So those are the three basic types. And then also, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this one. I'm trying to show you all of the ones that aren't dirty, so you don't have to get like a nasty view of all those dirty beauty blenders. It's the little bitty micro mini beauty blender is what I think it is. It's what it's mainly is supposed to be used for is concentrated areas like the ridges of your nose or even your under eye area. I like to pat my concealer on my under eye area using those, and it's very, very useful. And there are also some beauty blenders that I've never even used. There are bunches of different colors, of course the basic ones, and they come out with different colors for like different holidays. Like there's a red one sometimes, and there's a purple one, and they actually just came out with a nude one, which is really cool. I have a beauty blender addiction, so that's going to be another one that I have to get, even though I have plenty of beauty blenders. So, and I also heard that there's a big flat one, mainly for like putting your foundation on, and it's like flat, but it's really, really big. I've never used it before, but I've seen it in store, and it looks really interesting. But it's not really something that I think I could get used to, so I never bought it. But anyway, so my next point is ways that you can use your beauty blender. So the first one that I thought of was if you're trying to put on your makeup or your foundation, or actually if you're going to use it for your makeup at all, whether it's blending your contour or putting on your foundation or concealer, you need to wet it before you do that. This is something that a lot of people don't really know, or at least a lot of my friends don't know, and that's why I wanted to make this video, because I've been encountered by bunches of people who weren't aware that you needed to use your beauty blender while it was wet. But this is really, 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 really important. That's why most people aren't satisfied with their beauty blender. So what I do is I get my beauty blender and I run it under some hot water. I don't use cold. The reason you have to run it under hot water is you have to activate it, and the water is what activates it. So I let it run under, and I squeeze it and let the water go in, and then I squeeze it out. Let it go in, and then squeeze it out. And that's what will activate it, and it'll get a little bit bigger in size compared to the original size that you bought it in, just because the water will make it expand. You know how sponges work. So, and I promise you, it'll make your blending so much easier, and your foundation will go on so much better. I promise you that. So, the next point is if you're going to use it to put on foundation and concealer, you don't want to put it on in a swiping motion. Like, you don't want to swipe it around like this. What you need to do is load your foundation on your hand and then dab it, kind of let the sponge soak it up a little bit, and then you need to bounce it over your face. And whenever you're bouncing it, you kind of need to drag it just a little bit, but don't like drag it all over your face. It's just going to spread your makeup around and it's going to look streaky. So you need to dab it on and bounce it, I think is what the Beauty Blender brand tells you to do, is bounce it over your face. And for some reason that really, really helps. It helps with the evenness of your application, and it just makes it look better overall. So that's my favorite way to use it if I'm putting on foundation or concealer. It just helps it go on a little bit better, and it helps it to be more even. I'm running out of breath. Okay, so the next point is another way to use it actually is you can also use it for powder in focused areas. Like, that's what I mean. I use this one for like powder all over my face sometimes, but sometimes if you cake on powder with your beauty blender all over your face, it can look a little cakey. Or if you're using HD powder, it will illuminate in flash photography. That's something that not a lot of people know. So only use HD powder in focused areas like under your eyes. I like to get my little beauty blender wet, and I like to kind of dab it in my powder, and then I just pat it on like this. And then if there's excess powder, then I dust it off with a brush. Really simple. So that's another way that you can use your beauty blender. And the fourth one is something that's a little weird for me, which I guess it can make some kind of sense in some circumstances, but you can use it for more than just makeup. But I only recommend using it for things other than makeup if your beauty blender is expired. Like if you used it for an incredible amount of time and you need a new one, then you can use your old beauty blenders to, believe it or not, remove deodorant stains. I read from Pop Sugar Beauty or something like that. You can use it to remove deodorant stains from your black clothes, like if you use it dry. It's supposed to take it off really easy. I've never tried it, but that's what I've read. So, and another thing that I already covered is that you can use it for skincare. You can use the white one to put on primer or moisturizer or serum, anything like that. So, we're on to the third part and the final part of your beauty blender and how it works is part 3 is caring for your beauty blender as far as like washing it and storage goes. And the first point is you don't want to wash it every day. I know some of you might be clean freaks like I am, and I want to wash my beauty blender every day after I use it, which I have done. I'm very guilty of that. But if you do that, you're going to wear your beauty blender down more and more, and you're not going to have as much durability out of it, and it's going to expire faster, and you won't be able to use it as long as you would if you washed it properly with the proper amount of days in between. So really you're supposed to only wash it once a week. What I do is I pick a day, since I'm a makeup artist and I do makeup on other people, I pick a day where like one day out of the week where I deep clean everything, like really wash my makeup brushes with actual soap, and like I just do it for all of my makeup brushes, including my beauty blenders. And I use a specific kind of soap, which I'll get to in a second. So whenever, on those days when I'm not washing my makeup brushes, I just spray it with some sanitizer, some brush sanitizer, or some alcohol, and it kind of helps tide you over until you get to wash it again. So the next point is, whenever you are cleaning your beauty blender, don't scrub too hard, because I learned from personal experience, I don't know if I have that specific beauty blender here with me. I was scrubbing one of my little bitty ones, and I got a little too scrub happy, and I accidentally ripped it. And it was not fun. I was really, really sad because, excuse me, because it was my first micro beauty blender, and I was really sad. And it was one of the ones from the, it was only one of them, like it wasn't both of them, like they usually come in a pair. It was just one of them because it came in the gift set where it had 2 large beauty blenders and then one little one along with some reactivator, and I ripped it. I was so sad, but I finally got some new ones, so I'm really happy. Just be extra gentle. What I do is whenever I'm washing my beauty blender, I load it up with the soap and I just kind of roll it in between my hands. Like this is what I do for the large one, or sometimes I just work it in my hands like this. It'll be extra workable whenever whenever you have it wet and it's got soap in it. And I just rub it around like this, and with the little ones, I just do it in my fingers like this. I just kind of let that soap soak in, and I work it around. And that's the best way, I think, to be gentle without hurting your beauty blender. So there's that. I'm losing my voice already. That's okay, we're almost done. So the next thing is, as far as caring for your beauty blender, is the different things you can clean it with. Now my personal favorite is the Beauty Blender Solid from the actual Beauty Blender company. It's just this solid bar of soap, and I didn't research this too much. I just bought it because I thought that was the only thing that you could use to cleanse your beauty blender, but apparently not. There's multiple products, but I'll get to that in a second. What the Solid is, it's like a solid bar of soap. It's just a little circle that comes in a little cute little circular container. And what I do is I just take it and I circle my beauty blender in it, get it all soapy, and then I scrub it like I normally do, like how I already covered in my last point. And the reason it's my favorite is because what I believe, I'm not really sure, like I said, I didn't look too much into it, but I think that the bar of soap is powder based. So like you would put dry shampoo in your hair to cover greasiness and soak up all that grease, it works the same with your beauty blender. That powder soaks up in there, and it soaks up all of the excess moisture to help prevent mold, which is another thing. If you're going to, well, actually I'll get to that in a second. Sorry, I'm jumping all around. But so the Beauty Blender Solid is, oh, I'm dropping everything. That's one of my favorites simply because it helps preserve your beauty blender from getting moldy on the inside, and it absorbs that excess moisture. And the second product that you can use for cleansing your beauty blender is the Beauty Blender Cleanser, which is something that I've never tried before, but that's another product that's available on the market to clean your beauty blender with. And the last thing, if you can't afford to buy the Beauty Blender Cleanser or anything like that, then you can just use baby wash. never researched this. I didn't look too far into it, but it seems to be really, really gentle. Doesn't seem to cause any harm, and as long as you wash it out really good, it doesn't leave any residue or anything like that. So that seems to be a really good alternative if you can't afford all those expensive soaps. And now for the last few points, oh, actually my battery's dying. I better hurry it up. For the last few points, I was going to say this a second ago. If you're going to use your beauty blender, or if you're going to wash it, whenever you're done, squeeze the water out and then set it out to dry. What I do, what it tells you to do in the directions is whenever you are done with your beauty blender, you need to set it out to dry by putting it on top of the container and leaving it out there. Now you can put it in a bag as long as it's breathable and it has holes, you know, allowing the beauty blender to breathe and to dry out. But I prefer, and it's in your best interest if you just leave it setting out to dry, like overnight or something. So there's that. Just gotta watch out because mold will happen if you're not careful, and it's not fun. So the last point, which is really, really important, is that you can't leave your beauty blender, you can't use your beauty blender for more than 3 months. That is typically the time that it takes for your beauty blender to expire and for it to wear down and not be not work as efficiently as it would if it were brand new. So it's typically 3 months, and then you have to switch out and get a new one, which can get expensive, but I promise you it's worth it. If you keep your beauty blenders fresh, they will work just like how you want them to, as long as you follow these basic steps. So anyway, that is my entire point for this video. I hope I helped you out. I hope I helped you guys out in some way. Caitlin, I hope you liked this video, and I hope it helped you. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any more questions, leave a comment down below and let me know what you have to say. Also, let me know if there's any other videos that you want me to do. Let me know if you have any ideas, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.